The second round of the World Endurance Championship at the 6 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps was honestly one of the most exciting and chaotic races we've seen in a while. It was so wild that BMW not only grabbed its first ever WEC win in the hypercar era, but also pulled off its first 1-2 finish in the series. Seriously, if you missed this race, you missed a total mess, in the best way possible. We're talking cars spinning out, wild contact between rivals, pit strategies that looked like somebody threw a dart at a board, and an underdog story nobody saw coming. By the time the checkered flag flew, BMW had somehow turned a quiet, overlooked weekend into one of the most memorable victories in recent WEC history. And the craziest part? For most of the race, nobody actually thought they could pull it off. So how did BMW end up dominating Spa like that? Let's break it down. After qualifying, BMW wasn't really the team anyone had their eye on to win Saturday's race. Most of the buzz was around the pole-sitting Peugeot, Cadillac, and both Alpines, which had been fast all through practice. Meanwhile, BMW was just kind of there. Most experts figured they'd finish somewhere in the middle of the pack. Nobody was predicting a win, let alone a 1-2 finish. But that's the thing about endurance racing, it's never about who looks fastest on paper. It's about who survives, who plays the strategy game best, and who keeps their cool when everything around them is falling apart. And at Spa, BMW did all three better than anyone else. Starting from 11th on the grid, the number 20 BMW had a decent start but didn't make big moves toward the front. It stayed in 11th for most of the first stint before climbing to 10th. It wasn't flashy, but it was smart. By the time it pitted for the first time, it was running behind its sister car, the number 15, which was up in 5th after Kevin Magnussen got off to a strong start. But everything changed during that first round of pit stops. The number 20 car pitted on lap 26 at the same time as several others, but the big difference was how much shorter its stop was. While cars like the number 12 Cadillac and number 50 Ferrari were stopped for about 64 to 67 seconds, the BMW was only in for 50.2 seconds. In endurance racing, 14 seconds is an eternity. It's the difference between clean air and getting stuck behind a train of cars. That meant the number 20 BMW came out of the pits ahead of most of its rivals with a much lighter fuel load, only about 60% energy left, which also helped it turn faster lap times because the car weighed less. BMW gambled that the time they saved in the pits would outweigh the time they'd lose later. It was risky. Really risky. Once the first round of stops was done, the number 20 BMW was leading the pack, except for the number 8 Toyota. By short-filling the BMW, they put the number 20 car on a totally different strategy from almost everyone else. Getting out front meant the BMW had clean air to run in, which is everything in racing. Clean air gives you better downforce, better tire life, and better fuel efficiency. In the second stint, the BMW had serious pace, pulling away from the number 8 Toyota and the rest of the pack. Of course, when it pitted again, it dropped back. That's the trade-off. But as the stints went on, the number 20 BMW kept progressing. By the fourth stop, it was back in the midfield and right in the fight for the win. In the second half of the race while leading, the number 20 BMW had a 50-second lead over the number 35 Alpine. But it wasn't smooth sailing. Once Antonio Felix da Costa got into the number 35, he started chipping away at the lead. Every lap, the Alpine got a little closer. BMW's bold strategy was starting to look like it might fall apart. But then they got a huge break in the final hour when the number 51 car got hit by an LMGT3 car while the number 20 was leading. That brought out a safety car, which bunched up the field and gave the number 20 BMW a free pit stop, putting it back on the same strategy as everyone else while keeping the lead. The team still had work to do managing the pace after the restart, which turned into a couple of restarts after the Aston Martin had a big crash, but Robin Frijns stayed in control and brought it home for BMW's first WEC win. Before the race, the number 15 BMW's chances of a podium also looked slim. But some aggressive moves from Kevin Magnussen at the start and a strong defensive drive at the end helped the team lock in that 1-2 finish. The number 15 BMW started from 10th. Magnussen had a strong launch, went around the outside of a number 50 Ferrari at La Source, and moved up to 6th. 10 minutes later, he battled the number 36 Cadillac at the bus stop chicane, came out on top, and moved into 5th. Unlike its sister car, the number 15 BMW stuck to a conventional strategy, which gave BMW the best shot at maximizing points. In the second stint, Magnussen had to defend hard against the number 51 Ferrari at Les Combes, making contact that sent the Ferrari into the gravel. Then, with just over 2.5 hours to go, the number 15 BMW made contact again with the number 51 Ferrari at the same spot. This time the BMW spun. Dries Vanthoor dropped to 12th, and it seemed like any hope for points was over. But the race was so chaotic that more twists were yet to come. After that incident, the number 15 BMW stayed out longer than several cars around it, pitting on lap 104 while others pitted on lap 93. That gave the number 15 car a slight offset, which paid off when the late safety car came out. Most cars made 6 pit stops, while the number 15 BMW only made 5. Also, BMW didn't change tires on the number 15 car during a crucial stop, while its rivals opted for fresh rubber. That meant Magnussen had to put up another tough defense, and he executed it perfectly. But even after finishing first and second, the win still wasn't totally guaranteed. Shortly before the race ended, the stewards confirmed both BMWs were under investigation for several possible issues, including a safety car infringement and the collision with the number 51 Ferrari. In the end, the stewards reviewed everything and deemed no further action was needed, so BMW kept its 1-2 finish. As for the incident with the Ferrari, the stewards ruled both drivers were at fault. BMW's 1-2 has now shaken up the Hypercar Championship standings. Heading into the 24 Hours of Le Mans, BMW leads the Manufacturers' Championship with 59 points. Toyota is second, 7 points back. Ferrari sits third with 42 points, while Aston Martin and Alpine are fourth and fifth. There's still a ton to fight for with 6 rounds remaining, but Spa and Imola have shown that this is a super competitive field in 2026. Of course, we don't know the balance of performance on these cars, but right now, it's producing close, unpredictable racing, and if that keeps up, the rest of the WEC season is going to be absolutely unmissable.